October the 16th, 2023. As you're looking at new information coming in, they're talking about Israel's northern border. When you're dealing with Hezbollah there at that point. They're saying towards total war with Hezbollah. Israel, now listen, this is unusual. They evacuate 70,000 residents in 28 settlements on their northern border with Lebanon. They're talking about the order here to evacuate and that this is the U.S. red line. Remember, it's translated so it reads slightly different. But here it says Hezbollah bombs Israeli military targets. They do that. They are launching these type missiles and rockets across the border, and some of these are very close in the mountains. People are getting hurt and killed on both sides because of it, and it's intensifying very quickly. We know that Israel is surrounded, and this attack in the north is increasing as Israel's getting ready to move into Gaza, kind of something to keep their attention split in different directions. And they're trying to, I think, let more and more Gazan people out of that area and possibly into northern Egypt. That would be the best scenario right now for the people, that the innocent civilians that are involved. Same as evacuating the 70,000 from the northern border, protecting the people. It says Israeli intelligence has detected Iranian attempts to transfer advanced weapons to Hezbollah in Lebanon. Based on this information, the IDF has bombed Syrian airfields and large armed convoys en route to Lebanon in recent days. We also saw the airports attacked in Damascus. Yesterday was marked by continuous battles with tanks, artillery, and anti-tank missiles between Israel forces and Hezbollah. Like I said, guys, they're fighting back and forth. It's not a one-way deal at this point. Earlier today, Hezbollah released videos of the attacks against Israeli military targets. Hezbollah announced that it had attacked at least 5 Israeli military posts on the Lebanese border with heavy machine guns and other weapons. And some of these are the shoulder-mounted man-pad type rockets. Footage has been released by Hezbollah showing the strike yesterday on the Israeli military outpost on the border with Lebanon, utilizing an anti-tank guided missile that resulted in the death of an IDF officer. The Iranian guards are moving forces to the Syrian-Israeli border. Damascus is going to catch a heap over this before it's over with. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard is moving forces towards the Israeli border, sparking concerns that it could open a new front in the standoff between Tel Aviv and its regional enemies. Of course it is. The IRGC has redeployed fighters from the eastern Syrian city of Deir ez-Zor south to an area near Damascus, according to a Syrian government advisor. The activist said some of the soldiers moved were experts in missile technology. The Syrian government advisor said Iran's objective remains largely defensive. There's great concern that if there is a war, there is a strong need to protect the regime. This is, again, coming from the Americans. And they're not going to stop, I don't think, this war. You may see a pause here and there, but I think now we are at that point to where one side or the other is going to take over. And I think it's just going to be an escalated situation day after day until we see a major war break out, possibly even nuclear exchanges. We hope not. Israel announced the activation of a plan to evacuate 28 settlements in the north up to 2 kilometers from the Lebanese border and to transfer citizens to state-subsidized hotels. The activation of the plan was approved by the defense minister of Israel. Now, one problem with that is they don't have enough hotels available that's that far enough from the border, so they've got a lot of schools closed, and I think they're going to start moving folks into there. Glant, again, IDF spokesman, emphasized that the Northern Command informed council chiefs of the decision a while ago. The program will be managed by local authorities, the Minister of Interior, and the Chief of Staff of the Ministry of Defense. There are 28 settlements: Reger, Dishan, Kafar, Yuval, Margaliat, Metula, Avivim, Dab, Mayan, Baruch, Baram, Manera, Yifta, Makia, Meshgav-Am, Iran, Daphna, Arab El Aramsha, Sholmi, Netayara, Shatula, Matat, Zirat, Zomera, Bazat, Adamat, Rosh, Hankara, Kafar, Galata, and Hanida. I know I massacred those names, guys, but that's 70,000 folks. It should be noted that many of these settlements have already been evacuated in recent days. It is a decision by the defense minister and the IDF that may indicate another step towards an imminent conflict in the north. It looks, I don't know why they keep saying imminent conflict when we're seeing people killed with these missiles on both sides. Now, the U.S. has said, don't attack Lebanon first. If you are attacked, we will intervene. This is what they're calling Washington's red line. We've heard about it before. Now, the problem with this is, guys, for the first time in many of our lives, we believe almost nothing that our government says. It's almost always the exact opposite. According to Israeli media, over the weekend, two of the top ministers in the Biden administration, Blinken and Lloyd Austin, made strong commitments to Israel. Then why are they sending all that money to Iran? Austin wanted to ensure that Israel would not launch a preemptive strike against Hezbollah. I got news for the U.S. generals. They are a joke to Israel. Israel's using them. Years ago, Netanyahu said, we will conquer the U.S., we will cut it up into pieces until it is nothing. Guys, you remember that? It says, so he offered a fair return, an American commitment to American pilots and planes into the war if Hezbollah attacked first, fully confirming what warnews247.gr has been saying, and that's the link to this article. It says this adds to the deterrent power of the presence of two aircraft carriers off the coast of Lebanon. Man, that'd be the last bunch, I'm sorry to say it, that I would trust with my back. Again, they speak out of both sides of their mouth. It says Blinken and Austin delivered another message to Israel. The U.S. would find it difficult to support a military operation in Gaza that would involve widespread civilian harm and undermine Egyptian sovereignty. And Egypt is very concerned about opening the border, their northern border with Gaza, because they don't want the open border crisis that we're having here. Makes sense, doesn't it? Says the pro-American Arab regimes must not be weakened neither in Egypt, nor in Jordan, nor in the United Arab Emirates, nor in Saudi Arabia. Why? Oil, money. Israel, you do not have the backing that you think you do. Guys, to be honest with you, Israel's doublespeak is not much better. And they're saying we are not interested in a war in the north. We do not want an escalation of the situation, said Israel's defense minister. However, if Hezbollah chooses the path of war, it will pay a very heavy price. Washington expressed concern about escalation and possible Iranian involvement. Tehran also issued a warning today against a possible expansion of conflict. Now, I know that Israel does not want a conflict on their northern border or their eastern border with Jordan. But when you attack a certain group of people, you got to pay the price. It's not like pick and choose now. You've done got the Arab world, Muslim world mad at you, and they're coming after you. And again, if you trust Lloyd Austin and that bunch, you're in bad shape. But we do know that Israel will become a burden to the nations. Now, at the same time, Hamas's arm wing, the Ezzedine al-Qassam brigades, announced that if it had fired 20 rockets from Lebanon at 2 Jewish settlements, Israeli fighter jets hit Hezbollah positions in Lebanon, and an exchange of fire took place on the border. Again, the conflict has started. The increase in tension creates fears of the opening of a new front with the entry of Hezbollah into the conflict, which could drag Lebanon into war as well. Now, they're evacuating 2 kilometers from the northern border. That's Israel. But they have banned public access to a zone within 4 kilometers, so twice that area, to leave it just letting military get in there. As part of the operation, the IDF is deliberately blocking the smooth functioning of GPS services on the border with Lebanon, as well as the southern front with Gaza. I guess they don't want any tracking, and you can use that for missile targeting, all kind of things. And guys, the battle is picking up. They say they don't want a conflict there. Sorry, it's too late. But the Israeli artillery is counting to target several Hezbollah and other militant positions in southern Lebanon near the border. They know when this happens that those people need to be evacuated, all 70,000, because Iran has told them, you're crossing too many lines right now. And Iran, Iraq, all of these people want Israel completely gone. And over the weekend, there were different stories coming in, guys, about why Israel was hesitant to move into Gaza. At first, the reports were that there was a lot of wind and severe weather there, and it wasn't really good wasn't easy to move equipment around and soldiers around in that weather. And then late last night, Israel came out and said, no, has nothing to do with it. But I think they're waiting for the U.S. to get in place and possibly giving the people inside the Gaza Strip more time to move south. And I hope that both sides come to some agreement, no more civilians lose their lives in the battle over oil in the British banking system that brought Israel into place, if you think about it. They set that up, the Balfour Agreements, just like they did the U.S. in the banking systems. The bankers are money vampires, power vampires. And what we're seeing is all of that bunch that's been here forever with blood on their hands. But there's a price they're going to pay. I wouldn't want to be the one having to do that. Would you guys pray for peace on both sides and pray for all of our troops that are being sent there to come home safely? We're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.